Hello everyone, welcome back to the video. Thank you for all the likes, and as usual, we're going to take a look at the STI, the Hang Seng Index, and the S&P 500. Okay, so let's start off with the STI here. You can see STI currently is on a very good run. Seems like it's going to swing up to this resistance at 3247. So yesterday we had the index had a very conclusive run, also a good conclusive run, I would say. No doubt there's some upper shadow and a lower shadow, but then still it closed as a decent white candle, and today continue is very encouraging. As I said, there's a good chance for the index to hit back this 3247 resistance. If it does hit this level, then do take note that we are on a huge sideway, and this resistance might hold. At that point of time, if you were to hit this level, you can take note of the candlestick reversal pattern or candlestick pattern, where this kind of patterns and this kind of patterns may suggest weakness at this resistance, and pullback might happen. So keep our fingers crossed and see whether the index can hit that resistance, that major resistance. Hang Seng hit its major resistance yesterday, and in fact the day before, and since yesterday it has been struggling at this resistance. This resistance level, let me just plot again, was a previous support turn resistance, and now it tested and failed to break out from it successfully. So there were two attempts. If you were to scrutinize the candle, there were two attempts to break out above the resistance, but both attempts failed. And what we see here is that the closing is a follow-through selling for the shooting star that was formed yesterday, and this closing holds true, which is one, or rather about 40 minutes to Hang Seng closing. Then we may see some more pullback. Now the pullback is very important. It signifies whether the bull is still intact or not. Okay, so if I were to plot this uptrend line in this manner, you will find that this has been a support for Hang Seng for many times. Now, some of you who has been reading my email may see the uptrend line differently. Like, for example, if I were to plot this uptrend line in this manner, which I connect the different type of lows, you have some variation, but the cross junction, or rather the intersection point, is still the same. You will find that the trend line support is much closer. So whichever trend line it uses as a support, it will be good if it can touch and bounce off from this trend line, and therefore asserting that this uptrend remains intact, and therefore resistance may be able to break going forward. And hopefully we can see Hang Seng hitting this 17,925 in the future. S&P 500 yesterday pulled back slightly after it had a strong rebound following the CPI announcement. The AI results outplay the CPI concern. No doubt the CPI notched up, but the result from Oracle actually encouraged the market to rally higher. So from here, you can see that the resistance is now defined at this level, at around 5180, 5189 from the index chart. And you can see that there are some struggles to go up higher, but doesn't matter because the uptrend generally remains intact. Point to note is that tomorrow there is this quad reaching day. So what is quad reaching is that all the contract stocks, of options, stocks futures, options, index futures are expiring, and therefore the funds are going to re-enter or close off some of this position, therefore trigger some market volatility. So I've checked last year there were three quad reaching day, and we see one day that was a quad reaching that triggers a minor drop in the index. Generally, 2 out of 3 had a substantial fall. So tomorrow we may face the same situation. So when I say general substantial fall, is where the S&P 500 drops more than 1%. And the last year, 2 out of 3 S&P 500 drops more than 1%. The one that did not drop a lot was only about 0.37% drop. But so far, the market's dropped on the COT reaching day. There are some period that the market didn't drop and went up. So it depends on how the funds position themselves already. So maybe they have already done their job by rolling over their contract earlier, or change to a new way of investing. So basically, we wouldn't still be sure what will happen tomorrow, but just keep a lookout. Generally, the uptrend remains intact for S&P 500 to break up above this resistance. Still depends on the key FOMC meeting next week. So next Wednesday, FOMC will take place. Powell will comment on the interest rate trajectory, and this is where it will affect the market as well. So do take notes. Now let's take a look at the stocks here. Okay, so the email, I will start with OCBC DBS. So when we talk about OCBC and DBS, what do I mention in the email is that OCBC was trading at its 50-day MA support, and we may see further upside if the stocks were to cross above its 20-day MA, which is here, and the resistance here will be 1345. Okay, and then DBS will be something similar. So DBS has a 20-day MA support right below, and we are looking at the rebounds towards the resistance at 34.24. So when I say something similar, means the stocks is finding MA as support, moving average as support. So let's take a look at the chart here. So OCBC, right, congrats to those who are holding this counter. The counter is moving towards the resistance at 1345. That is very good, very encouraging. The uptrend line remains very much intact over here. Generally, you can see an uptrend here. And if OCBC can break up from 1345, it will be a sign where the bullish trends continue. Okay, so after 1345, it will be another all-time high level. And of course, all-time high, we can do some projection using Fibonacci. So if I were to do a quick projection here. So when we talk about projection, projection means that you project, and it may be true, it may not be true. But if it is true, 1363 will be the first level that it will be tested, followed by 1407. Coming to DBS, where a lot of traders are still interested in this counter because the dividend, the Fed dividend and the bonus is coming. You can see DBS strongly break up from its resistance over here. So this is a very good run where you can see that the uptrend continues, and DBS next resistance, it's the sky. The sky is the limit right now. It's at all-time high level. And we are looking at, let's say, if I were to project a level, which level that DBS may be heading to, will be around 34.87. Next will be 35.87. Wow, that's a good $1 gap in between. Okay, so this will be your best reward this year if you have been investing in DBS. So I have quite a number of clients under me adopting the strategy that I share with them to get into the banks whenever there were opportunities. And today there are some feedback sharing with me that they are making 4 digits profit right now. So that's pretty good, very encouraging. And I will hope for more. Okay. Next, let's take a look at the email again. So we have UMS, City Development, Seatrium. Okay, so UMS, what about UMS is that we see the similar pattern like OCBC where UMS is finding 50-day MA as support. Okay. Then we have city development follow-up. I spotted a hammer over here. And of course, you can see resistance target here. And then with Seatrium, where it's forming a symmetrical triangle, which it could be breaking up towards projected target at 111 or coming down to 7. So Seatrium has gotten the approval from SGX to merge its shares. And when it merges its shares, it must continually come out with good news. Okay, so after merging, the stocks could be above $1. But the bad news is that if the stocks don't come out with good news and continuously announce, losing quarters after quarters, then you'll see the $1 price, above $1 price, could lead to a much more drastic drop, and then even back to 10 cents. So that is happening in a lot of penny counters. In a few years ago, right, there were exercises where a lot of penny counters, they merged their shares, and most of them went above $1, and after that their results still cannot keep up, still bad. And what happened was that they fell back to towards below 20 cents. Okay, so this is how bad it can be if Seatrium, after the share consolidation, don't continue to improve. Okay, so Seatrium quarters after quarter has been announcing writing down of bad asset. I don't know how many quarters they need to spend to write down assets. So many quarters they have been doing so. And if one day, one quarter, they don't do so, they don't write down assets and then start to announce gains, profits, quarter on quarter gains, then finally turn profitable, I think the share price will still have some chance. Okay, so coming back to the chart here, we have UMS, which is the 50-day MA support. Well, UMS 50-day MA support seems to be fragile, right? It is not doing very well. So just to give you a good visual how 50-day MA looks like. So this is the 50-day MA. So you can see the stocks is struggling below this 50-day MA, hanging on to this uptrend line. And currently is not doing well as well because it's closing below the uptrend line. 1.33 now seems like forming a support, but it looks fragile, seems like it's gearing to go down further towards 126 level. Okay, so there is a risk that it may go down lower if it were to continue to close lower. So 133, if it fails to hold, goes at 132, 131, there might be chance that it might go down lower. So do watch out for UMS. Then we have City Development's hammer. So the hammer did well to hammer the stocks up. So after the hammer, the stocks rallied higher towards its resistance, and there is a 50-day MA right above it. Well, this is not a big hurdle. I would reckon that if it's strong, it should be able to hit $6.20. Currently it's taking a break because it has gone up for 2 consecutive days and gone up strongly. And I'm not sure whether the share buyback that the company has initiated is done. Okay, CSA, the bullish rebound was also helped by this share buyback. So if the share buyback is not done yet and there is still intention to push up the price higher, we shall see that the stocks break up from this consolidation, hitting 620 going forward. Okay, so this will be a key moment for the counters as well, whether it can sustain this momentum and turn into an uptrend. That will be more or less life or death for a big counter like this. Then Seatrium, as I mentioned earlier, symmetrical triangle, upward break. While the upward break struggles, so yesterday it tried to break higher, today it's tried to break higher, but now struggling, back to struggle again. And the thing that you need to look out for is this uptrend line, where if the stocks were to come back to this uptrend line and break below, it may continue to go down lower, and the nightmare may happen where after share consolidation, the stocks from $1 plus drop back to 10 cents, or that will be the worst case scenario lah. Okay, so just to support what I've mentioned, counters like ECMA, it used to be a penny counter. So what happened was that it did a share consolidation, pushing the share price to as high as 55 cents, right? And then the share consolidation happened in 2017, and then the share price now back at 4 cents. So imagine you have 10,000 shares or 100,000 shares of ECMA back then, and the share consolidated until you have only 10,000 left. And from this 10,000, the share dropped back to below 10 cents. Now it's just 2.6 cents. So how much would you lose? You will lose more than you were ever invested. Probably you only have a few $100s left in this counter. So Seatrium, if it behaves like this again, it will be very, very bad for a lot of shareholders. It will be affected badly. Okay, so do take note, yeah. Next, we have Sembcorp Industry, Meituan, Alibaba. So one day I decided to take a look at Hong Kong stocks because Hong Kong was on uptrend. So we shall take a look at this counter now. Sembcorp Industry, you are looking at back then it was suggesting potential breakdown. So it's a critical juncture where you potentially form bearish formation. So here, if it breaks down, the support to look at is 480. Okay, this was mentioned in the email. Meituan and Alibaba was bullish. So Meituan is in the uptrend channel, and the resistance look at is circled over here. And then we have Alibaba consolidating, trying to form a positive base, and it requires to hit 76.12 in order to be bullish. Take a look at the chart now. Sembcorp, as I mentioned, it has a bearish setup. And indeed, yesterday it tries to break down. How ironic, right? So this breaks down was a company with high volume. I'm not sure why funds are still selling these positive counters where the result is good, the dividend is good. I'm not sure why the funds are selling. Look at the volume, it's not normal retailer funds are selling. Then today we see some rebound, probably buy low, buy on dips, or buy on discount. And if Sembcorp can close above 508, probably 510, it will form a good one white soldier candlesticks reversal pattern to help to negate this bearish base. Okay, so hopefully it can close higher. Then Meituan. Meituan it was moving on the uptrend, and the resistance was about 96. So it went close there. So it was at 95.72 yesterday and today, and then it started to fall back to previous resistance, now turn as support. So if you can find this as support, there's a chance for it to hit higher. If not, then yeah, we may see a change of trend, especially when Meituan come back to 82.22. So when you come back to 82.22, it will break down its uptrend channel. Alibaba, the code is 9988. So when you look at 9988, today it wasn't that bullish as anticipated. It didn't manage to come to this resistance here as it fell. But probably it takes more days for it to come to this resistance again. And currently the resistance is strong. So it probably suggests it's very hard for this counter to change a trend, change its trend. Hopefully the support going forward, if get tested, which is around here, is safe. It holds at it and then rebound from there. Next, we have SIA, Wilmar, and today we have SIA again. So what about SIA? SIA, there's a bullish reversal signal here called bullish Harami cross. Expecting it to rebound back to 662. Wilmar, hopefully it can continue its inverse and shoulder and start to break into an uptrend. So today SIA follow up again. Yesterday no follow through buying, but today form a hammer. So there's a more concrete trading plan over here for you to take note. Okay, so let's take a look at SIA and Wilmar right now. So SIA, no follow through buying yesterday, but today we see some follow through buying. So if SIA can close higher 644, 645, it will be a good positive sign that it may come to this resistance at 662. Okay, it needs to retest back this uptrend line and break out above it in order to go back to its uptrend path. Okay, and then finally we have this this very counter, which I forgot. Oh, Wilmar, sorry. Wilmar. Is Wilmar finally trying to fulfill its inverse and shoulder? Not quite yet, but there's still hope. So if we can continue higher and test 345, 344 breakup from there, then a change of trend is on the cards. Okay, especially we have a higher low and higher high going forward. Okay, so thank you for viewing this week's video. I will see you again next week.